What's going on, guys? Welcome to our chat today. I am here today, and as you guys know, my name is Rafal Z Widejko, aka the corporate Runaway, and we're here to interview amazing guests and walk through basically showing you different tricks, different things that you can have a better lifestyle, and we can show you how you have you can succeed on your own terms. And today, I'm honored to be here with Adrian Wesley, aka the Human Optimizer. He has spent over 2,000 hours in one-on-one sessions with the online entrepreneurs to improve their mindsets, amplify their motivation, attract the abundance into their lives. And he is actually a leading edge. He's got the methods that he's using that are extremely successful, and they're changing lives daily worldwide. Adrian is actually committed to facilitating and awakening the personal power within you. He has been passionate and he's studying this human optimization for over 2 decades. And Adrian, right now, he actually is working on a project which is really passionate about. It's called the Power On Audio Club. That is entrepreneur mindset coaching and reprogramming with daily motivation and support. And this is something that I'm part of as well. So Adrian, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome, man. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here. The only other thing I'll add to everybody listening is that I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and a motivational educator. And my mission is to make self-love go viral and to awaken abundant entrepreneur mindsets around the world. So I'm excited to chat with you today, brother.
That's awesome. And I've been there, like I've been listening, following you for a long time. Actually, just recently joined the Power on Audio Club. And this is something that motivates so many of us. So first of all, what I want to do is I want to just maybe find out more, who is Adrian? Like there's a lot of people maybe watching right now and they'll be like, what is the story? Where did that came in that you started researching to wanted to help more people?
Well, my journey started when I was a young boy. My mom attempted suicide in grade 7, and my mom died by suicide in grade 10. So my whole childhood, I didn't really have a chance to be a child, and my whole childhood was mental health issues and dealing with divorce and all of that stuff going on with my mom. And that caused a lot of my own mental health issues, developed generalized anxiety, PTSD symptoms. I didn't know it at the time. Insecurities, any women I fell in love with at the time when I was young, they were codependent relationships. And so I went to university and I was really fascinated with psychology, obviously because of my childhood upbringing. And also I understood that I was very fascinated with business and being an entrepreneur, and understood that human psychology is really the most important part of that journey. And to run any business, you have to understand the person at the other end that you're interacting with. So I did a university degree in psychology and business, and then went off into the world and chased the money and chased the corporate jobs and went it wasn't the wrong direction, but I didn't follow my passions until I was about 40. But yeah, so I spent an adult life of doing the corporate jobs, feeling discouraged, quitting and going to become an entrepreneur, and then failing as an entrepreneur because I didn't have the proper mindset or the proper self-confidence. And then I would go back to the corporate world. And it was when I was 37 years old, I went bankrupt. I was a real estate investor and a realtor in BC, Canada. 2008 hit. I went bankrupt. My former wife left. I got arrested for growing pot in my basement. It wasn't legal in Canada back then, so I had the wrong crop. And I had $100 in my bank account, and I was lining up for construction temporary work to put food on the table. That was my ground zero. That was my bottoming out. But since then, at that time in my life, I made a commitment to make self-love go viral and make the planet a better place and show people how to love themselves. And that's when I started my own journey in self-love. And then I went to hypnotherapy school, and now here I am with you, living in Thailand. I'm married to a Thai Swedish lady. I have feed, I think 10 cats. We have three indoor cats and feed, I think, six cats, 7 cats outside, but I live on the beach. I'm a digital entrepreneur and I do hypnotherapy sessions and I love what I do. So dreams can come true and we can sort out. I've set myself free from a lot of the mental health issues that I dealt with. So yeah, I'm excited to share my story.
Oh, that's amazing. And you were saying that then the first one, I think last time you were saying it was like 6 cats. Now it's like 10.
It keeps growing, brother. I'm the cat man.
That's awesome. And I know you went to university in Calgary. I'm in Calgary right now. We actually it snowed a couple of days. You're in Thailand enjoying your, the beach, and here it's been snowing, which is, it's a bit colder. But I know one of the things, because when I followed you throughout this whole journey and how real you are, and you talk about the struggles, and I know there's sometimes you listen to people and they're just talking about how there's unicorns and rainbows and it's all beautiful and look at my mansion and all this stuff, and you like say it how it is, like, hey, you know what, I go through struggles, I go through different things. Can we talk about a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a good topic, brother, because I think people are craving authenticity today. I think what's happened with the online space is super amazing. It's got many benefits, but I also believe it's caused people to lie and stretch the truth. I mean, in my opinion, 80 to 90% of the income claims you see online from people are all bullshit. They're not being real. And all of the personal development, most of the personal development people or motivational speakers only portray the positive, powerful side of themselves. But that's just not reality. So I've decided to try and make some changes in how motivational education happens and motivational speaking, how it's rolled out, and just be really authentic. And that's what I do with the Power On Audio Club is I tell my story. And I think, for the listener and the learner, I don't know if that's a word, but the person listening that's receiving the information will learn a lot more if the person speaking is being genuine and vulnerable and being authentic and sharing their own troubles. So I really enjoy doing that. And I'm proud to be a leader in being authentic and vulnerable and sharing my own stories. You know, if I have a bad morning and I have a cry, I tell people in the audio club that I had a cry this morning to try and make sure that other men know that it's okay to cry. So yeah, brother, that's just a big part of who I am. And my brand is to be real and authentic and share the message that people don't have to be perfect, and that people are actually craving people that aren't perfect and aren't all shiny unicorns and rainbows all the time, because it's just not real. And it sets people up for failure, because people see these people and think that they're always happy and always powerful, and then they can't attain that. And then they quit and get discouraged. And the reality is none of us can be happy every day. And the reality is, if you're going to keep expanding and keep growing as an entrepreneur, you're going to keep coming up with mental stuff and faulty beliefs. And so it's a process. So that's a big part of who I am, and my work is to be real.
You know what? And I think that's what drew me to you. You know, for me to be able to, because I've been around for a while, and I've seen the people that, they call themselves the coaches, or, their lifestyle coaches, stuff like that. It's just, but when you look at them, it's like, it's not real. And you can see it, like, person can lie to a certain point. And it's sooner or later the truth comes out. And that's why you have so many different followers, and people are drawn to you because of what you do. So thank you for what you do. But getting into the hypnosis, when I was younger, hypnosis, everyone thinks, you take a little watch or there's a little spinning and you go to hypnosis. Can we maybe get into just explaining a little bit to some of the people like myself originally, what is hypnosis and how does it work?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. So that's combining hypnosis with therapy. And it's very different than stage hypnotism. And I think that's what most people think of when they think of hypnosis, is stage hypnotism. At a bar or a party, you get some guy on stage and makes people do stupid things. That's not what I do at all. And I actually don't really like that stuff, because it makes people think that that's what all hypnosis is about. Excuse me. And but I spent a life in the mental health industry, you know. Well, I spent my whole life with my mom when I was young, in and out of the mental health industry with her. But then I would go see psychologists, counselors as a young adult, and into my older years. Can't speak. It's still 7 a.m. in Thailand, so I'm still waking up, brother. Um, but yeah, I just found that, you know, things fundamentally never changed at a deep level. Talk therapy is super powerful. It's super important, but your conscious mind is about 5%, and your conscious mind is about 5%. And your subconscious mind is 95%.
Wow.
And in your subconscious mind is all your beliefs about yourself. And those are really like the programs that tell the supercomputer what to create. So unless you get into that subconscious mind and change those faulty beliefs, you're going to continue to create the same reality. So it doesn't matter how much you talk to someone with the conscious mind. If you don't get into the subconscious mind and change those fundamental beliefs, the individual will continue to create the same reality. Because what happens is, throughout the day, the reason it's 5% and 95% is because throughout the day, if you're thinking, if you're talking, if you're driving, if you're doing anything, your subconscious mind kicks in and you're on autopilot. And that means that a lot of your decisions and thoughts and things that you're doing are based on those beliefs in the supercomputer. So I went to, it was maybe 5 years ago, 4 years ago now. I had a really bad breakup with a young girl, and had a whole history of bad relationships, divorce. And then I finally realized there was one common denominator in the whole equation, and that was me. So I stopped dating, but that was, I stopped dating for 2.5 years and started working on myself. And part of that was going to get some more help. And I went to see a hypnotherapist, and I asked her just to program me with good things are going to happen, because I had PTSD, and PTSD means that you wake up in the morning and you think you're in a war zone, and you think something's going to go wrong, and you're scared, and you feel like you're still in that whole war zone and you're under fight or flight. So I went to see this hypnotherapist, and I just said, please just program me with good things are going to happen. And then 2 days after the session, I woke up in the morning, and for the first time in my life, the first thought was, good things are going to happen. And from there, my life changed. I realized the power of programming the subconscious. I went to hypnotherapy school 4 months later, and then I built up the most successful practice in Vancouver. We got rated top 3, number 1 in Vancouver for hypnotherapy practices. And then I moved my business online, and now I do hypnotherapy online I just started back again. I took a year sabbatical, but hypnotherapy is life-changing. It's super powerful. And it's also a very powerful way to show people how to meditate and how to let go. So yeah, that's a quick synopsis of how I got into hypnosis and why I'm in it, when essentially everything you think, all thought is creative. Everything in the room you see around you started with a thought, and our mindset creates our reality. Your perception creates 100% of your reality. So that means your perception is how you think and what you believe about the external world. So as an entrepreneur, it's really the starting point. If you don't believe in yourself, if you have a faulty mindset, if you have faulty beliefs, it's going to be very difficult to become successful. So it really is the starting point. And for most entrepreneurs in the beginning, 80% of the work is getting your mindset straight. So I'm all about showing people how to turn their power on. So if you want to learn how to turn your power on, you got to go to the epicenter of that power, which is mindset. And to develop an abundant entrepreneurial mindset, you've got to get into the subconscious mind and change the faulty beliefs.
You know what? You hit on so many points. Because 5 years ago, when I started my entrepreneurship journey, was the mindset. They were talking about reading books and getting into like whatever you think you attract. And I'm like, I just want to make money. Like, I just want to go on there. Show me how to make $10,000 a month. And it just kept coming back to the same thing. If you don't have that foundation, and when you talked about, when someone drives a car, and you said that actually before, is we get hypnotized. Like, I don't remember how I got here. And it's like we go to hypnosis and we don't pay attention to the signs that we're given every single day. So amazing, incredible.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up, because most people don't understand that they've been hypnotized thousands of times. When you watch a movie or you watch the TV, or even with the social media now, you go into a state of trance. And that's why movies and mainstream media and TV can be very damaging, because all of that information is going directly into your subconscious mind, and you're being programmed by that TV. Every TV is a hypnotic device. Everybody's been on trance for thousands of hours watching movies and shows. And what ends up happening is that big brands and corporations pay the movies to plant their products in the movies.
Oh, wow.
And then you end up getting programmed by that. Like, for example, alcohol. We grew up watching shows where if you were on a romantic date, you have a glass of wine. And then we grow up going on a date and we go have wine, because that's what we've been programmed with. But the joke I always say is that if those were chocolate pudding, and that was chocolate pudding, was the chocolate pudding industry was funding all of the romantic movies, we would be going on our dates having chocolate pudding. We've really become what our programming is. And that's why it's so important to wake up to the fact that you have been programmed, and you've been programmed by society and media that wants you to become a consumer, and start to take that power back and change that programming. But when you're driving in your vehicle, you go into waking hypnosis. So most people have spent lots of hours in trance and don't realize it. And it's also a very powerful therapy. When you go into a half an hour trance with me in a session, it balances your brain waves and leads to optimized neural communication, which leads to positive thinking. So it's popped a lot of people out of some deep depression before. So yeah, trance is very common. This therapy's been used for thousands of years, but what people don't understand is that it's being used against them to program them to become a very good consumer.
The things we don't know about. And like, it's crazy, because when you don't think about it, first of all, if there was pudding instead of wine, there wouldn't be a lot of drunk people. There would be a lot of bigger people.
But what you're talking about is happening with sugar and food. You watch some of these shows and how many times you see white bread show up, and all our behaviors have been programmed from the programming we got from our parents and from media. The other thing that's important to understand is that when you're a child from about 0 to 7 or 0 to 8 years old, you're in theta brainwaves, which means you're in hypnosis. So children have been programmed by their parents and the people around them. And that's how you become the person you are, is that very early childhood programming.
You know what? Going back to, because we talked about your mom, and you're pretty open and you're talking about it, and you literally just out there right now. It's like, what if I can save one life? And one life basically saying, hey, if I can just show you a way, if I can show you, like, every single morning when I listen to you and you just say, like, hey, you just woke up, you open your eyes, you have another day on this beautiful earth, be happy. You don't need much to be able to. And I know we talked about people, committing suicide, and there's a lot of people in depression. What is a message that maybe you can give someone listening to it that are going through some tough times?
Yeah, I'm very passionate about this, brother. It's really why I do what I do, because I've struggled myself, and because I lost my mom to suicide, and I lost a lot of friends to suicide. The biggest message I can tell anybody that's going through struggles right now is just to hold on and live day by day. And remember that the worst things that happen to us often end up being the greatest, most powerful gifts we can be given. My ground zero, my life exploding at the time, was the hardest thing I ever had to go through. My ex-wife left me, former wife left me, and I cried every day for months. I was absolutely fucking broken. But it propelled me to who I am today, and it propelled me to become the greatest version of myself. And the other message I have for anybody struggling is that change is inevitable, and things will change. The sun is always shining behind the clouds. Sometimes we have to go to where we don't want to be to find out where we do want to be. Sometimes we have to get lost to find ourselves. And so it's really an opportunity to reframe the situation you're in. Also, don't define your success by how much money you have. I know many very wealthy people that are very low inside, empty inside, and their fancy cars and their big houses are what feed their ego and feed their happiness, but they're not truly happy inside. Don't be envious of anybody. Everybody has their own struggles. And
Yeah.
if you're really at rock bottom, get help, ask for help. And, if you don't have money, use Delta Waves on YouTube and let go, use headphones, let go, use music therapy, join the Power On Audio Club, get hypnosis audio, start using hypnosis and trance therapy, change your food, get to sleep at night, get some help, raise your vibration, and things can change. But you got to want it bad enough to change. But again, I want you to hear me. If you're struggling right now, things can change. And I'm living proof that you can live your dream life and you don't have to be a multimillionaire to do that. And every day is a new chance to start over, and every day is an opportunity to find happiness. But I think the last thing I'll tell anybody that's struggling is please stop beating yourself up. Everybody I deal with in one-on-one sessions that's depressed, the biggest thing they deal with is that they're beating themselves up that they are depressed. And they go into a grocery store and think everybody else is so happy and doing so well. Why can't they feel good? Well, the reality is every single person you see has a struggle behind them. They may not be struggling with it right now. You're not alone. We're all connected. We're all one, and we're all in this together. So you just got to keep fighting. You got to go to the gym and push and pull steel. That's an incredible way to get out of a depression, is go work your muscles. You don't have to do heavy weights, but you've got to do something to get yourself out of it. And again, I want to repeat, things can change. Change is inevitable. So you just got to keep showing up and take it day by day, day by day.
You know what? You said something, you're not by yourself. And that's one of the things that my passion I found was just basically saying, hey, if I can just talk and get on live and just talk about this or doing this interview and one person hears it, I just recently got the sign. It says basically, 1 hour a day of working out. By the way, this is just because you motivate me, because I know you always go out there and you every day, you got to activate those muscles. And 4% of your day is 1 hour. 4% of your day is 1 hour. We spend hours watching TV, Netflix, but we're not willing to take care of our temple. We can't replace this. We have to be healthy. It's all about the lifestyle. It's all about the mindset. It's all about doing it. But if anyone is listening, because I know I have a few people that I know that are in bad shape, sometimes you're depressed and stuff. So it's amazing. I know a couple more questions. I know you're extremely busy. Thank you again so much for being here. But
That's awesome being here.
What makes you feel alive? Like, what is it that inspires you to just keep going?
Definitely 100% is helping people. When I went bankrupt and I lost everything at 38 or 39 or 37, I always get the numbers mixed up, but it was all around that time. It was all going on. I had spent my whole life up until that point chasing money, chasing jobs for money. And then I just decided that I really needed to help people and work with people. And then I worked on myself and put myself in a position where I was capable of helping other people. But what gets me jazzed and what keeps me going every day is helping somebody and saving a life and giving somebody some hope and providing some information to somebody, or maybe the woohoo on one of my daily audios, or the energy I transfer gives someone a smile and gives them the courage to keep going. So that's really what gets me going, dude, is helping sentient beings. That's why I feed so many cats, because I have the money to feed these cats. I live in Thailand. Cat food's cheap. They're helpless. The owners leave them since COVID. They've been abandoned. And just supporting helpless sentient beings like cats and building people up. That's what gets me jazzed. Love, brother. Sending love to myself and sharing love with other people and making this world a better place is really what motivates me every day. And the money is great, but money doesn't make you happy. And I love living where I live. That's really important to me, is being somewhere where I love to live. But I have understood that having $10 million won't make you happy. And people think it does, but it makes it a little easier. But whatever's going on inside still is there, and whatever's missing is still missing. So yeah, it's really focusing on making the world a better place by showing people how to turn their power on and how to feel good about themselves. That's what gets me up every day.
You know what? That's just like right there. Just the way you said it, it's like, I listen to that woohoo every single morning, and just it motivates me. And just by you doing that, you can inspire someone. You start the ripple effect. You inspire someone else too doing this. I am part of the Power On movement. I am part of it too. So my son is coming in interrupting right now. So
Oh, it's all good. How you doing, buddy?
good, buddy. That's awesome. He just did some cinnamon buns. He's
Cool.
so
Cool.
but
I'm excited.
yeah, and this is one of the reasons, like for me, it's being spending time with the family and just having fun, just relaxing, and being right now as my dog is jumping on me, it's just sometimes you're gonna have people and get
Awesome.
interrupted.
It's awesome. You're super lucky.
It is, and being real and stuff. And I know Power On movement. I want to talk about that just a little bit, because I'm part of it, and I'm going to put a link up here too, just to promote it too, because everyone should be part of it. You literally get 5 days a week, a woohoo every single morning, and it just inspiration. Like today, I haven't had a chance to listen to the actual one that it was about the hypnosis that you do, and you actually put it inside the audiobooks, and I know that. Another thing is, if someone wants to get a hold of you, and maybe how do they find you? How do they locate you to maybe have a session with you? Or
Well, the Power On movement is the Facebook group, and that's the free group. And then my digital product, which is the mindset enhancement program, is Power On Audio Club. So if you're going to put a link up there for Power On Audio Club, they can find it that way. And the Power On movement is the Facebook group, so you can just request to join that on Facebook. And if you're interested in hypnotherapy, you just send me a DM on Messenger, and I'll get back to you that way.
that's awesome. It's incredible. Thank you so much for being here. Again, sorry for the interruptions, but this is life.
You don't have to say sorry, man. I think it's awesome. I think it shows that you're real, and it shows that you're a family man, and that there's kids around. I think it's awesome. And I really wouldn't mind one of those cinnamon buns if you wouldn't mind putting it on a courier to Thailand, brother.
It's funny because we bought the Thermomix, and the kids are using it and just pressing buttons, and you know what I mean? But it's you have to be passionate about something, like it is what it is. Like, dog is just opening the door and stuff, but at the same time, it's just being real. And I think that's what you said originally when we talked about it. It's being real, telling someone how it is, how it's supposed to be. People need to hear that, hey, you're not perfect. People, you don't know, like, I mean, look at this dog is just climbing up here while we're doing an interview, and it's not the only time. So, but second of all, if you guys are watching again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for doing what you do. Because like I said, there's so much inspiration, and we need more of this in the world. There's so much negativity. There's so many craziness happening right now. The world has completely been flipped upside down. But everybody, you're not by yourself in here. And Adrian is here to help so many others. And I can't wait to listen to more of the stuff. And then your podcast, can we maybe mention the podcast as well?
Yeah, the podcast is Power On Boost, and that's on Spotify, Stitcher, or iTunes. And to finish off, a message to anybody that's listening, never before in human history has it been more important that you come home to yourself and start loving yourself and start raising your vibration, because everything you seek is within you. It's not in the external world. And I think this is a great opportunity when the external world goes to shit, and we don't know how much money we're going to make, and are there going to be jobs? And so it's never been a better time to go within, to come home to yourself, and to find peace and happiness and love within yourself. If you're struggling, remember, just take it day by day. You're not the only one struggling. Things will change, but you got to want it bad enough to change things in your life. Things won't change until you do. And dreams can come true. And never give up. Keep going. Believe in who you are. Be the real you. Give yourself permission to be the real you, because that's why a lot of people are struggling. And if you have a dream, go after it. You only have one life. You only have one chance. This is not a dress rehearsal. So you got to keep showing up every day and keep believing. and good things will happen. So I'm grateful to have the opportunity to share this message to your community, brother.
Thank you so much, for being here again, and really appreciate you, and have an outstanding day. I know it's morning again. You got up early to talk, and then we'll definitely keep in touch, and I'll put all the links above for you guys to check out. And Adrian, you're the man, buddy. You're like a brother from another mother.
Yeah, bro. I'm glad we met. So thanks for having me.
Overall, thanks, buddy.